do.
Yeah.
I mean, they know what we do in front of the camera, but they don't know what we do behind the camera. But and also to inspire. So between awareness and trying to inspire other people to pay forward and help these kids up for college. We have our scholarship program for Ohio State, but and same way with the weight loss. If I can inspire somebody else, hey, I'm happy. It's a very personal. It's a very big struggle at times. As we all know. It's a struggle, but yet it's a blessing.
Yes.
Yes. So we're, every day you wake up is a blessing. It's God's gift. So
I think that's one thing that when you and I were talking on the phone, I caught that right away from you. Like you definitely have that heart and passion that you want to show blessing upon other people. And honestly, I think it's great. The people that I've talked to, like I've been saying, I've been really excited about this interview. I really have. And so I've been going around like, I have an interview with Jon Peters. And, people's faces are kind of like, I'm like, the big nut. And like, oh! So then they're like, I know who you're talking about. He's a really nice guy. He is very passionate about what he does. And I think about that and like, that's a legacy right there. To hear that, like you.
Well, I appreciate that because, when you talk like that, I mean, I don't look at it in that terms.
Yeah.
I just try to be me, and I try to do each day as it comes. You don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, and you definitely don't want to be too full of yourself, because that's why I First Lady Nut over there, because she keeps me pretty well grounded. She always reminds me, where my place is at, right in my own home. I mean, yeah, and that's okay. If I'm not number one, that's okay. If I'll be number two, it's all good with First Lady.
Bless First Lady's heart. What a sweetie. So we'll just get into some questions,
okay,
and see what you think here.
So Tara, would you prefer me to be with the hat on, or with the
however
or bald? I mean, that's up to you.
You can be however you want to be. You can be Jon Peters, however Jon Peters wants to be.
So,
off on
first
whatever.
and foremost, tell me about you.
Well, I have been in healthcare, culinary arts for going on 32 years. This past year has really been pretty big struggle for me, really. Career-wise, thinking, what am I going to do? I'm getting to that age where standing and being, cooking, it was getting to me. I was hurting all the time. And so I really had to take a step back and, having conversations with my husband, like, what am I going to do? I'm scared. I don't know what my career looks like. And for years, he's been telling me, like, Tara, you are burned out. You need to stop. I will pay you to stay home because you are not a happy person right now. And I want to see that smile come back on you. And I fought him like you wouldn't believe. Like, I'm not burned out. This is what I do. This is what I know. What else am I going to do? I got to keep doing. And in healthcare, with what I've done, it's been really difficult for me, especially when COVID hit. It took everything away that I was doing, cooking classes, everything. And while we were driving, I'm thinking, boy, it sure would have been nice to have those connections with other people that work in healthcare, to make those connections that we could have worked together instead of working apart. What does that look like? And that's when I said to him, what do you think about a health and wellness magazine? So after we said that, we started talking a little bit more. Well, health and wellness is not just the magazine. We knew we needed more. We're using the magazine as a platform. It's giving the education to a community. But there's other things within that. We know that as healthcare, we're doing holistic. So we're doing all pillars of health, spiritual, mental health, physical health, nutritional. We're doing all of those pillars. And then in the magazine itself, we have all that in there. So it's education for the community, but it's also bringing the small businesses that they're being the educators so that they have a voice as well.
Nice. Good deal. That's good stuff.
Thanks. So let's start talking.
Okay.
And let's see where this goes. I can't promise that we'll stay on track because I tend to go off a little bit.
Okay.
But we'll do our best. So one thing that I noticed about you, this was a few months back. I know it was an article, but I cannot remember where it was. And it was talking about Jon Peters and the weight loss journey that you went through. You want to talk about what that weight loss journey was like for you?
Well, it's not going to be an overnight thing for sure. But the thing about the weight loss journey I'm on and still on, and hopefully on for the rest of my life, is it has to be life-altering, life-changing for the rest of your life. I've gained probably 5,000 pounds in my days, and I probably lost 5,000 pounds. So there's that emotional high and low with the weight gain, the weight loss. But as I started getting older, I have children and I've got grandchildren. Your perspective on things maybe changed a little. But when two people have a conversation and one is your doctor, then I better listen. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it was kind of a eye-opening conversation. He said, in years past, I have doctors say, well, you need to lose some weight, or down the road, you may have issues. But my current doctor, which is now retired, love the man dearly. Basically looked at me in the eyes and says, "You're gonna die. You're gonna die soon. It's time. You better do something now. Not, maybe in 6 months, not maybe in a year, but you need to do something now." And he wanted me to have the weight loss procedure done at Wood County at the hospital. And so, in all fairness to him, I said, "Okay, Doc, I'll take a look at it." I'm not a believer in it, and I definitely, didn't want to have it done, but I'll take a look at it, for the doctor's sake. And I guess to kind of maybe appease him or make him happy, because obviously when you're overweight, you don't. In myself, I can't speak for everybody. For myself, I guess I didn't care enough about myself. Other people cared more about me than I cared about myself, and so I thought, well, I'll do what he asked, and I'll go over and take a look at it. And I'm not a big believer in nutritionists. I am now. And so we looked at the program over at in Bowling Green at the Wood County Hospital for weight reduction. And what you have to do is when you go in through the class and stuff you take, you have to lose X amount of weight, and you have to show them you keep it off for up to a year. And then after the year, you sign the paper, and then you have it done. And in the meantime, my insurance covered it at work, the visit, and then I would go visit a nutritionist, and she kind of started turning my thinking around a little bit about certain things. And so what I did was I kept going through the motions of it, but then I started listening to what she had to say, and the nutritionist was amazing, and I started losing weight. So by this time I started losing 25, 30 pounds, 40 pounds. And then once I hit that year, then it was time to sign the paper and have the surgery. So I told First Lady Nutt, I said, well, I said, why do I have to have the surgery? Because if I can continue to do what I'm doing, changing my drinking habits, changing my eating habits, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing to keep the weight off. And that's what I did. Once the year was up, I would not sign the paper. I would not have it done. And thankfully, I did not have it done. Now, it may work for some people, but I've seen other people where they've gained weight back and then some, and the surgery didn't do them very much good at all. But in my situation, I had a very good friend I worked with. He had it done probably 6 months to a year after I decided not to have it. he died on the operating table.
Oh,
And it was very, very tough and emotional for me, realizing, maybe that could have been me on the table, and because there is a risk involved. And so I count my blessings every day. And, but in the process, I also seen another doctor in Sandusky. So now I've seen the nutritionist in Bowling Green and a doctor in Sandusky, health doctor, and both of them give me a lot of, ideas to not, go cold turkey and starve yourself, which I had done other times, years past, but to change your way of thinking of how you eat, how much you eat. When we go out to eat, me and First Lady, we'll split a meal more times than not. Now, before we get our own meal, and so we split a meal, which is half the quantity. There's just different ways you can tackle this thing, as far as to try to make yourself, healthier. But in the meantime, my family doctor, like I say, now he's retired, Doc Diller, and Doc, little subtle changes, nothing major, but like I love coffee. So, but I always put cream in my coffee. Well, now he says, get rid of that cream. You can drink it black. I said, Doc, you don't understand. I always drink cream in my coffee. I grew up on a dairy farm. I got to have cream in my coffee. He says, no, drink it black. I said, I can't do it. He goes, yes, you can. I said, no, I can't. He goes, yes, you can. So guess what? I drink black coffee, and I love it. And I couldn't go back to drinking cream by coffee. So, it just little things like that, the water, I had to have, I can drink water, but when I eat, I have to have something flavored. So I eliminated all my, carbonated, products like pop, soda and all that. I don't really drink any pop anymore. That's been tremendous. But I mean, flavored water. My protein 2.0 has been really helpful. I really enjoy it. But for me, I'm diabetic. So being diabetic, I had to cut back on my carbs and my sugars, and I consume a lot of protein. And the protein in the protein 2.0 helps fill me up. And now that's I drink a lot of protein 2.0. Now I do drink plain water when I'm not eating, but I have to have something flavored. And so I substituted carbonated pop for protein 2.0 water, and it's been a big plus and help for me on my journey. Like I say, portion size, portion control has been huge.
Yeah.
A lot of times if we go out, if we don't split a meal, I'll usually ask for a container and I'll eat half and then take the other half home. But in the morning when I get up, I'll drink a half of a protein milk, like muscle milk or something like that, a half, and then put the other half back in the fridge for the next morning. And then usually like 9 o'clock break in the morning, I'll have my yogurt. I do yogurt with some nuts. I'm a nut freak. Gotta have my nuts. That's just the way it is. What would life be without nuts? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you gotta have nuts. And by the way, my favorite candy bar is Zag Nut. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I don't even make Zag Nut anymore. I mean, that's how long since I had one. But and of course, the big thing too, people say, well, Big Nut, you've lost so much weight. I said, yeah, because First Lady cut me back on my Little Debbie's. I mean, because of course Nutty bars are my favorite, and so I'll have my yogurt and my nuts in the morning for breakfast, and then and the key is I used to do like 3 meals a day, and that was it. Now I'm eating a little bit every couple hours, and that helps me. And of course, by 11 o'clock lunch at work, I'll have some buffalo chicken breast. It's certain size. And then, of course, I have my hot pepper cheese and my hard-boiled egg, and and some veggies, some fresh veggies, sweet pepper or cucumber, and then by 1 o'clock I'm having my grapes and blueberries, and then I get home. I have a banana with some peanut butter. I mean, I'm a peanut butter freak. I love my peanut butter, and so that works out. That works out really well. And then, of course, for supper I may have a salad, a small salad, and during the COVID period was when I really realized how much eating out you gain weight. By not going out to eat because of COVID, we stayed home and we did our own meals, and that's twofold. Not just the fact that you don't gain as much weight by not eating out, but you also save money, which is nice. So that's more ball games we can go to, that makes it nice. But it's just, and I realize this has been going on for about 4.5 years. My weight plan.
Okay.
And I say I've lost close to 100 pounds. And but do I feel better? I felt fine before. I was happy before. But do I feel better? I do, but I don't really notice it that much. Like, maybe in my joints. I mean, if I carried around a 50-pound bag right now, or two 50-pound bags, I would probably know the difference then. But I just continue to go, keep marching on, and so thankfully this has been something. But I need to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
This is because here's the problem. The problem is if you have a set weight in mind that you want to get down to, that's probably the worst thing you want to do, because I've done that over the years, and I'm way up here. I get down to my weight loss by goal. I hit it. Now what do? That's the thing. I mean, where do you go from here? And you know where you go? You go right back up again, because you're satisfied. You're happy. You hit your mark. You hit your goal, and all of a sudden you lose control. You forget what you're doing on a daily basis, and you have to kind of slow yourself down and think this through and say, you know what? I've got to be patient in every day. I got to continue to do what I do.
Sure.
And so you have to enjoy what you're consuming, because if you don't enjoy it, it's not going to last. And with being diabetic, I try to, the deep fried stuff can be kind of dicey, especially chicken chunks or wings. I'm a wing person. I'm a wing guy. So I went from wings to the chunks, and I try to find the place that has the real lightly breaded ones, and I stay away from the sweet sauces, the high sugar stuff.
Yeah.
And because I love hot stuff, hotter the better. Bring it on, So if I can find a place that's got very lightly breaded chicken chunks, and go buffalo sauce, or I'll do it like a hot garlic parm or something like that maybe. But I try to stay away from anything that's sweet or with high sugar. And so it's that's one thing. Something else. So
in Northwest Ohio, because of the fact that you do a lot of traveling, where are those places that have the lightly breaded?
They're hard to find.
I bet. Yeah.
They really are. So we do have some locations that are lightly breaded. I mean, do you want the names of the restaurants?
Sure.
Or,
yeah.
First Lady.
Shout out to them.
First Lady, can you think of a couple? No. There's a couple places. There's one we go to Silvertop in Fremont. That's on the north side of Fremont on State Route 53. Silvertop Tavern. They changed. They used to have the thick, heavy breaded, the frozen ones.
Okay.
And
yeah.
They changed into the more the lighter breading, and I know Madison Street Tavern in Tiffin. They've got some really good chicken chunks that are lightly breaded. When we're in Columbus, we may go to Roosters. Okay. We've had theirs. Oh gosh, now I'm feeling the weight on my shoulders, so I'm trying to think. I don't want to leave anybody out, but like Chunky Dunks, there's a place in Fremont called Chunky Dunks. It's relatively new, and they got really good chicken chunks. And of course, Time Out in Fremont, they They got the boneless white strips that are like a very late breading as well. There's just the thing is when you start singling places out, there's other ones you're going to forget, and it's like that's not fair to them. And then they jump and say, "Hey, how can you didn't mention us?" It's like, well, I'm sorry.
I mean that just goes to show what kind of person you are, that you're trying to think of them, and I think that's sweet. I mean, you're not doing it intentionally yet.
No.
To forget them.
Listen. One of the most profound movies I ever watched. It was called Schindler's List.
Okay.
Did you ever see that movie?
Mm-hmm. It's been a while, but yeah.
But when Oscar Schindler, I think the movie, when he wept because he couldn't save more people in this world, more Jews. He didn't think about he wasn't satisfied and happy with all the ones that he saved. He wept and cried because of the ones he couldn't save. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is, there's more that needs to be done out there.
There is.
Whether it be saving someone's life, or or maybe losing a little bit more weight. There's always more to be done, and that left a profound statement on me. Here's a gentleman that could have been happy and satisfied and walked around, puffing his chest out and being happy-go-lucky, saying, "Look at all the people I saved. Look what I did. Me." And you know what? That's not how he felt, and that's how we should feel as Christians and as people in the Buckeye Nation. I say the same thing too. If I upset one person on game day, and they come up to me and want a picture, and I say no and turn them down, I would go home and sit there and be so depressed, knowing that I might have affected them in a negative way where it ruined their day. And I don't want to ruin nobody's day. I want to make everybody happy on game day.
Yeah.
And that's why, it's an honor and blessing to me on game day if somebody would come up and say, "Hey, can I get my picture taken with Big Dad?" Absolutely, because that's an honor to me, blessing to me that they would want their picture taken with me. So why would I scorn them and scorn myself for turning someone down and being a total, jerk or idiot? That's not what God wants us to be. God wants us to extend the olive branch and help people out if they need help, and to put a smile on their face.
That's amazing that you say that, because this past year we went to the Ohio State-Michigan State game, and I think I told you this. I was looking for you the whole entire game. I'm looking all over trying, where's he at? Fourth quarter, I just happened to look straight down, and there you were. And then from that moment on, I was kind of watching, and I noticed that I'm a person, if I'm watching the games and TV there, whatever, don't talk to me, don't look at me. I'm intense. I'm very intense. My husband and my brother-in-law, they laugh at me all the time because I'm so intense when it comes to that. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching you, and people are just left and right coming up, and you were turning around and taking a picture with them. And I thought, like, wow, that is so kind-hearted. You're there to support the team, but you were also there, like, hey, you could just tell, like, I'm here to make someone's day. And the smile that you had on your face, and even First Lady, she was in the pictures too, and I saw that, it didn't matter. It didn't matter if Ohio State just had a touchdown. You were still going to turn around and make it special for that person that was right there. And I thought that was just the coolest thing. So I'm sure, like, do you really get to watch the game at all? I mean,
I do. And it's funny because the Buckeyes could win the game. And, when people want to meet me before the game, it's easier for me to give them my seat location, have them come and see me, because otherwise I would never make it to the game on time. Oh, yeah. And I always say a big thing for me is that on game day, if I'm not in my seat when the band comes down that ramp and comes on the field, we could go out there and we could just beat the snot out of the other team on the field, win the game, and go home. But it'd be a hollow victory for me. It would be kind of devastating if I don't get a chance to enjoy the traditions of what the Buckeyes are all about. And there's not a greater tradition out there than the band. They're amazing. And I'm not a band. I was never a band person growing up. Now, I went to high school in Oak Harbor in Ottawa County. And we've always had a great band and a big band back when I was in high school. but I was never in the band. And I mean, to me, I love sports. Well, I didn't really appreciate the band back then like I do now, because now the Ohio State Marching Band, is just, they're amazing. You know, I was good friends with John Waters, the former band director at Ohio State, because he's from our area up in, he went to Woodburn High School out of Elmore, Ohio, which is right by Fremont. And I got to know John really well through my mom, actually. My mom was a postmaster in Elmore, and my mom would always tell me stories about this young man that was in Woodburn High School coming in, about how he was going to be in the Ohio State Marching Band someday and all this, you know, and I got to meet him and got to know him, and we became good friends. But you know, the thing is that if you don't get a chance to see the band do their entrance and go across that field and perform, it's just your day is not complete. It really ain't. They're just amazing. And you know, Woody Hayes always said that, you know, if the football team would practice half as hard as what the band does, that they're going to be a success. And that says a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So how did the Big Nut come about? Like, how did this all happen?
Well, it kind of started locally over a best dress contest back in 1995 over a basket of cookies by the cookie lady. Go figure. Okay. Over food, you know. Go figure. And so I had to win. You know, I had to win that basket of cookies, and so I did win that first year. It was at the Ohio State beat Michigan tailgate party. As I say, that team up north. I don't normally say that word, but you know, it was over a basket of cookies. I won it, and then I knew I had to do something different the next year, because the Fremont Ross Boosters put it on to raise money for their school programs, and so I knew I had to do something different, because I was up against all these older ladies with the fancy stitched cardigan sweaters and the stitched pants, and I mean, if I would have been a judge in voting, I would not have voted for myself. I would have voted for, they were amazing. Well, luckily, based on applause, I won the cookies. So I knew I had to do something different the following year, because the following year, a woman she made a 3-foot high Buckeye snowman for her man cave, and I really wanted to win it. So that's when First Lady put paint on my face, and with the crazy clothes and all that, you know, and that's how it kind of began, baby steps. Kind of like a weight loss program, you know. It's baby steps. You don't want to go in it too hard, too fast. You know, like people have the New Year's resolutions. You know, by the middle of February, they're already burned out and they're already giving up. So it's like, you know, same way with the contest. You know, with baby steps, adding this, adding that. So fortunately, I won it again the following year. The snowman for my man cave. Well, then they did it again the third year, and I won it the third year. And it's kind of ironic, because some of the people that were in that contest, they still remind me to this day. Say, hey, you know, Big Nut, we really won that. We really should have won that award, that snowman for our man cave, because we thought we were better. And I said, you're probably right. You probably were better, but for whatever reason, they gave it to me. I don't know. So, but anyways, it's kind of progressed baby steps over the years. Mm-hmm. So what you see today is not how it kind of started out, you know, on the Buckeye Trail, because we were fortunate enough. That was in '95, the contest, but we didn't actually do the paint until the championship game. We took it with us out to Tempe, Arizona, when we played the Miami Hurricanes in January of 2003 for the national championship game, and that was actually my first game painted up. Okay. And we actually did it the day before for the pep rally, just to see how we would be received. You know, we had no idea. And then afterwards, I had young kids who would come up and want their picture taken with me, and I'm thinking, well, why? I'm just a fat guy with face paint. You know, what's the big deal? Well, I was very honored, and I said, you know, so we did pictures with young kids. And I had older people that were in wheelchairs, and people with walkers, and it's like, are you kidding me? I mean, come on. I mean, I'm just, you know, an ordinary guy. And I was very blessed that they wanted their picture, so we did it for the championship game, and they happened to show us the overtime session of the game, the first overtime, and then we've been doing it ever since. But you know, there comes a point in time where the the reasoning of why you do something starts to lose its luster or its light. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because you can only do it for so long, and you had to have a purpose to continue to do what we do. Well, we found that purpose when we started our scholarship program because our pay forward program started with giving out Buckeyes necklaces at tailgates just to give away. It was just a gift because we would see people down there selling stuff all the time to make money. It's like, to me, I thought, that why don't we do something different? Why you gotta be like everybody else? And so we didn't want to go down there and sell this stuff, so we just kept giving them away, and people were very touched by it, and then they were very, the smile. That was what it was all about. And the smiles on people's faces were amazing, and just the genuine handshakes and they would hug us for giving them something that for free, and so that they would want us to come by their tailgate parties and stuff like that, and they knew we'd take necklaces down, and to this day we still do that. We'll never change that. We give out necklaces like the one you're wearing on game day because that's how it all began, and that's how it should always be, and that's the roots of the whole thing, was giving something away for nothing. And so to make a long story short, they would outsmart us. They would try to give us money, we wouldn't take it. And even in the horseshoe, they tried to give us money. I said, nope, sorry, we won't take nothing like that because we're not soliciting. We're not here to make money. We're not here. We raise money through our foundation, but we don't do it on game day. We don't have nothing to do with taking any kind of money. And so people would mail us checks, and it's like, really, we don't want no money, and so. We felt that it wasn't our money, so we put it in a separate account. And a good friend of mine, one day I was talking to him, we were debating about giving it to cancer research or Alzheimer's or even diabetes, donate the money to something else. And
Sure.
He said, well, why don't you start a scholarship program? And I said, you know what, that's a great idea. And so then we got our hold of our local attorney, Jim Ellis, and we became a nonprofit. It took over a year, but we finally, this was in 2011, when in 2012 we gave out our first scholarships to Fremont Ross, where our two children went to high school, and to Fremont St. Joe, where my wife went to school. And then baby steps here again, little by little. And now we're the second year, I wanted to give out one to my alma mater, which is Oak Harbor. So we gave out one to Fremont St. Joe, one to Fremont Ross, and then also to Oak Harbor. Well, I thought, wow, an odd number, that's kind of crazy. We got to at least make it even. So the fourth scholarship we gave out was to any school in Sandusky County that would apply, any student, we would give out one other one. Well, to this day, we are now in every school in Sandusky County, plus Oak Harbor and Ottawa County, and then also we are in Upper Sandusky in Wyandotte County, and that is in conjunction with the Elks organization.
Okay.
It's a win-win joint venture. We give out scholarships there as well, so we were in 9 high schools to give out 11 scholarships. Now we added Port Clinton High School in Ottawa County this year, and Old Fort, which is in Seneca County. So we're going to be giving out, in 11 high schools, we're going to be giving out 13 scholarships. And then we're finishing it up Ottawa County out next year by adding Genoa, Danbury, and Clinton Bay. So when it's all said and done, we'll be in 14 high schools on our scholarship program, giving out up to 16 scholarships, which is each one for $500. So we're going to be giving out every year up to $8,000 for scholarship money for kids that are attending The Ohio State University. And we're very blessed that we can do that, and we're very thankful. Because as everyone knows, tuition's not getting any cheaper out there. It's crazy. These kids need an education, and where better can you get an education than right at Ohio State?
So with that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there is actual products that can be purchased that goes towards.
That is correct.
Okay.
100% of the product, the profits go to the scholarship for the kids. We have Big Nut barbecue sauce, and we also have Big Nut pickles. The barbecue sauce is made in Bucyrus, Ohio, at Cooper's Mill, And then the pickles are made down in the Amish country, down in Butler, Ohio, south of Loudonville. And the little lady named Wilma, she's fascinating. And we enjoy going down there and picking up the products, and then we bring them back, and then we distribute them ourselves to the stores. So we're in over 30 stores. So here again, people don't realize the amount of time and work we put into this. And we have to there's a fine line there, because we also have 4 wonderful grandchildren we have to make sure we spend time with. And so it's, which is tough on the one grandchild, our granddaughter, she lives in England, where our 3 grandsons do live in Fremont, so that makes it easy because they're 5 minutes away. But so we have to find that fine line to spend time raising money for the kids for college, and then also to spend time with our own grandchildren. So that's important.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
And
you're working full time.
Full time.
And First Lady's working full time as well.
Yep.
Wow.
So, so that then plus going to the football games and basketball games, and you have to have a Franklin planner. You got to have a calendar, because if you're not organized, you'll be lost.
That is amazing. Wow. So I know you do football, and you do every football game?
We do. The good Lord's willing. Because you just don't know. Because my priorities are God, family, Buckeyes. There's a wide gap between God and family, but it's a kind of a dicey, narrow gap between family and Buckeyes. So we have to decide. The importance of the event for the family. Obviously, if it's maybe a distant relative, we'll send them a card if we're out of town at a game or something, So, but that's you can't accomplish going to games. You can't accomplish having wonderful family members. You can't accomplish losing weight. You can't do none of that without God. Mm-hmm. In the power of prayer. Mm-hmm. I really believe that. Some of the best times are in the morning when I'm driving to work. No radio, no music, no nothing. Just be on the way to work and just preparing myself for the day, and just asking the good Lord to give me the strength to get through it. And He does. Because your mindset is so important, not to just yourself, but to other people, because you don't know, like on game day in the football stadium, when somebody comes up, young or old, and you give them a necklace, or you just give an opportunity to say hi or shake their hand or get a picture, what that might mean to that person, not just that day or that month or year, but maybe in 5 or 10 years. So it's the same way, going to work, you want to try to make a good impression, and think about other people, because you don't know when your next day is your last day. You don't know what they're going through. That's why, you really don't want to, you never want to judge, but you don't want to assume, that, that person, that they're, everything's all good and everything's all fine and dandy, because you don't know what they're doing, if they're hurting inside or not. You don't know if they are or not. And so you gotta try to be positive and lift them up.
Mm-hmm. Wow, you have got one awesome story, really. And just the impact that you've made.
Some people say I have a line of BS, so I
no, I don't.
It's true though. It's true though. Like at the word ceremonies, never forget where you come from. But do you want to be the parsley on the plate, or do you want to be the meat and potatoes?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could be the parsley, but I want to be the meat and potatoes.
There you go.
Yeah.
And when we first talked, and when I approached you about, doing the cover for the magazine and for interviewing you. The one thing that really stuck out to me, and I've been thinking about this ever since we talked. You asked me, Tara, when I come, what do you want me to be? Do you want me to come as a big nut, or do you want me to come as Jon Peters? And being a big Ohio State fan, I mean, my first thought was, yeah, big nut. I want to see big nut. And I had to take a step back and think like, no, Jon Peters is the one that went through this journey. Jon Peters is the one that created the big nut. Jon Peters is the one that inspires. The big nut is the costume. And I find that fascinating. I really, really do. I find that, like, you've inspired me by you just asking that question, because you could have easily said, and I'm getting all excited and emotional about it, but really you could have been like, yeah, I'm coming as big nut and we can do this and this and this, but it wasn't. You were being genuine to say, what do you want me to be? This is what I can do. And the more that we talked, like, I know I made the right decision by saying, I want Jon Peters. I want to see Jon Peters. And I thank you. I truly do, from the bottom of my heart and everything that I have in me. Thank you for what you're doing, because you are making a difference. And we need more people like you that are making a difference to put that
thank
smile,
you so much.
To put that smile on
Give me a
another
hug.
person's face. I appreciate you. And it's not just because of the big nut. It's because of who you are.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's not, I can change the look of the big nut on the outside, but it's what you got on the inside.
Absolutely.
I mean, it comes. That's why it just, I am who I am because it comes from within. And First Lady, because you asked a while back about how it all began and all that. I had a foam brick, and I throw the foam brick at the TV, I get mad, and she said, quit acting like a big nut. I said, what?
There you go.
That kind of stuck. But
Oh,
also the thing is that, like I say, we're all a big nut about Ohio State. We're all a big nut about the Buckeyes,
Absolutely.
And that's why, as a Christian, as a disciple, we have a responsibility to show good sportsmanship, to go out there and to do the right things. Everybody in the horseshoe, not just big nut, but everybody.
Yeah.
And it'd be a better place, a better world.
Yeah.
Well,
I know that we could talk forever and ever, and I promised you that we would keep it short and simple, and I want to respect that. But we could talk all night long, and I would be completely content with it. But I am going to let you, because when you left our conversation, that you told me that you always end conversations the same way. So I'll let you do what you do.
Go in peace. Go in peace, sir. The Buckeyes, thanks be to Brutus. OH.
I owe.
Go Bucks and God bless.
Thank you.